Alright, I wanted to make just a real quick update video. There's a few things we've done, a few things that a lot of we haven't got done. I think I've already said something about we got the balancer on, the pulley on. I'm getting ready to stab the distributor, put the CDI box in it, get the throttle body on it, the Super Sniper, and start getting lines run. My grandson will go home today. He'll be back Sunday. We have the 8.8 back. I do have it centered side to side. All I did was I put a level up against the frame right here in the same spot. I used a bolt hole for reference, or a hole that's in the frame on either side, and I measured, put it straight down, and I put a square across the axle, the outer part of the flange, measured it, got it set. It's the same measurement on both sides. You measure from the spring out to here, it's the same. So I think we're good to go. I did notice when I checked with a plumb line off the bed down that the bed is setting that way a little bit more than it is this way. The bed needs scooted over this way a little bit, about a 1/4 inch this way, about 1/4 to maybe 3/8 of an inch over this way a little bit. And I can shift that around. And the cab square, I did measure from the frame out to the pinch weld on the front back of the cab. The cab square, the bed just needs moved a little bit. It's kind of setting just a little crooked, but we'll take care of that. But I used the frame for a reference point. I used the spring for a reference point. Everything comes out to be the same, so I think we're good to go. I will put the U-bolts in it. They're coming today from Calvert Racing. They're out for delivery via UPS. I'll get them dropped in, get the Caltrate plates on it. I'll snug it up. My engine and transmission is pitched 3 degrees down, so I'll pitch the rear end 3 degrees up, and we should be good to go. And once I do that, I'll take a floor jack and I'll kind of set it where I want it, a little close to 3 degrees before I tighten these down too much. And then what I'll do is set the axles, tubes on floor jacks, or on jack stands, so it puts all the weight of the vehicle on it, which will simulate it set on the tires. About where it's at right now is about where it'll be, but we got to get the weight on the springs. So once I do that, it's no different, I think, I might be wrong, but putting jack stands under the axle tubes and letting all the weight bear down on the springs is no different than it's sitting on wheels and tires on the floor. Some people say, oh, you should have someone set in the truck when you do it. All that. I've never done that. I've either put it on the ground on wheels and tires, or I've set it on jack stands. I match the rear end to whatever the engine is, and I've never had an issue with driveline vibration or anything else. With the Caltrack bars on it, it's not going to move that much anyway. And with those longer perches that are anti-wrap, that's going to help too. And then I'll tighten everything down and leave it that way. I will not weld the perches up till I know exactly there's no issues, but there shouldn't be any issues whatsoever. So I might tack weld them, but I'm not going to weld them up solid, just so they won't move. But once we get all that set, or I can clamp it down, tack them, take it all loose, weld them up, and then put it back in. I'll probably weld them right where it sits. I'll just flat disc up against it and then weld them up, and then paint it all black. So, but it's in there, it's done. It's got a 355 gear in it. And now it's just time to start running AN lines and start getting shit buttoned up so we can fire this thing off. I've got to get the wastegates on. I've got clamps for down here and get them on. And just to fire it up, I probably won't worry about dump pipes, but we are just going to dump it out the front fender or straight down there. I don't know if I'll cut a hole in the fender or not. I might just dump it out right down there, just right in this area somewhere. I'm not going to try to run it back into the exhaust underneath here. I don't know yet. That side, there's plenty of room. This side, it's a little tight trying to snake it through, and you got charge pipe, and yeah. So we'll just have to see how things end up going as to where we do all this. Because you're going to have a wastegate right here, and then I'm going to have to try to run a charge pipe, which I've got 90s and I've got 45s. There's 3.5 or 3 1/4, whatever this is. I'd have to look again, down to 2.5, which is what the intercooler is. So I got both, so we can check that out, get the rest of this stuff wrapped up, and it's just going to be an ass-kicking party. My boy's off tomorrow, so we're just going to start kicking ass on it and get it done. And I put a video up earlier. Anybody that's got a TurboTax card and you're worried about getting your stimulus check direct deposited to the card, my daughter got hers and my son got his this morning, both of them, at like 11 o'clock. They both filed at the same time, the same night, one right after the other online, filed their taxes. They got theirs today at like right between 11 and 11:05 on their TurboTax debit card. So they're coming. And I think what it is they're doing it in order people have filed their taxes. They're going to go back to the first filers, and then they're going like that. So be patient. It's coming. I know a lot of us need it. I don't. I don't need it. Everything I'm getting, my wife's going to use it to do stuff to the house. So, but yeah, this one might be a little problem. This one might be a little bit of a problem. But we'll work it out. You know, if I have to, I can turn them up. You know. Somebody said, well, use the elbow on the one that's a problem. I don't want them different distances. I want them the same distance on either side. So, but we'll figure it out. You know, if I got to run the wastegate out like this and dump the exhaust this way. You know, this one, don't have that option. I don't know why those are like that, but you know, there's no way to get around that, so we'll figure it out one way or another. With that being said, I'm gonna make it short and sweet. I gotta get back inside. Grandson's asleep, and my mother-in-law's kind of just sitting in there with him in case he wakes up. If he wakes up, he'll start crying for me. So, but I just want to show everyone the rear end's back. It's in. If I measured wrong, somebody can say it in the comments, but like I said, I come off the frame in the same spot. I put a level, which actually went right up against the frame and the spring, showed level. I measured from it to a straight edge that was clamped across here, and it was the same on both sides. And then from the spring out to here, I think out from there to here was like 10 1/8, and then it was 7 3/8 from the spring out to here, equally on both sides. That's 2 points measurement. Both of them come out the same. I think we're good. So, other than it did show that the bed was a little off, but anyway, we'll leave it at that. When I got more, we'll set the camera up when we come out here and work tomorrow, and I'll show you more. Everybody be safe, God bless, and talk to you later.